Hello and welcome back to the Good on the Apex podcast. It's the Australian Grand Prix and what a race we got.
Wow, we're back. Formula One, you know, there's just so much to say.
So much to say, and look, we were waking up at 4 AM for this race. I was walking in the pitch black to the library on campus thinking, why am I getting up to listen to the Dutch national anthem and then go back to sleep again? However, we didn't.
Yeah, we didn't, and also, like, I woke up, I didn't actually watch it at the time, I watched it when I woke up at 9 o'clock.
Disappointing.
But I woke up at 9 o'clock, right, and I looked on my phone and it didn't say, like, it didn't say Max.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, and I woke up in, like, this state of delusion, and I was like, I walked into the kitchen and my dad must have thought I was, like, I don't know, not okay, because a lot of my hair was everywhere, like, I just woken up and I was like, what happened? Like,
he was like,
Max didn't win. Like, what's going on?
It was just the biggest shock, and I was watching it with a crowd of people because I think that was the only reason I stayed awake.
Yeah.
But we were all just celebrating. I mean, it's not celebrating for Max's downfall; it's celebrating a different freights winner.
Yes.
But obviously, let's get on to Red Bull, and it was kind of a poor weekend overall in terms of the end result.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good qualifying. I would say against all odds, Max got pole because the Ferraris looked rapid in qualifying.
Yeah.
But the brake issue, Max's rear brakes were basically locked on, which meant that he had to DNF on the third lap.
That's so poor, but can you imagine that going around with like a handbrake on your back wheel? Like
he described it like having a handbrake on, and the fact that he managed to keep the lead for 2 laps while having basically a handbrake on is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But again, I think this was Checo's chance to prove himself. Obviously, he only started P5. I mean, firstly, he got the grid penalty because of impeding. Would have been P3. I think it was P6 in the end. But only got P5 in the race. It really wasn't a good race from him, and he was far off the pace as well. He was 56 seconds off the lead.
Yeah. It's not. I mean, you know, that's granted. That's if that far off Max, it's fine. But obviously, Red Bull are expecting this. Yeah, Red Bull are expecting. If Max isn't there, this is their second driver. This is their only chance, and he's coming that far off.
And now I'm not surprised that after this weekend, the rumours of Carlos going to Red Bull have just been flurrying.
I know.
God, that would be spicy.
Blimey.
The 2015 Toro Rosso partnership back in, that would be good. But I mean, yeah, we'll move on to another poor weekend from probably the worst weekend of the season, easily so far.
Oh, easily.
Double DNF.
Yeah.
Lewis just completely off the pace, out in Q2, no actual race pace, and George not really having the pace either. No. It wasn't a good weekend.
It wasn't, and obviously, like, we'll talk about George's DNF in the race. George did have an accident.
He did.
Pretty much on the last lap, wasn't it? You know, there's so much drama about this as well. There's so much drama about because Alonso arguably brake tested him going into the corner.
Yes,
I say arguably, and then he obviously kind of went off onto the gravel and then spun and then was actually in the middle of the track, which caused the virtual safety car at the end. There's
been a lot of controversy about the virtual safety car because everyone's like, why didn't they just pull a red flag immediately? And me and you have had long chats about this.
Well, we'll talk about George's onboard.
Yes, so firstly, as soon as the crash happened, he basically got on the radio immediately and just started screaming red flag, red flag.
Yeah, he was like, red flag, I'm in the middle of the track.
And you can understand his worry. You can understand it clearly. And I did raise a funny theory that maybe that was his driver brain going and saying, pull the red flag because it means I'm still saying the points.
Yeah, I'm not DNFing.
Yeah, I'm not DNFing. But it's definitely not the case. He was definitely scared, and too rightly, because he was kind of sliding up. If a car had hit him, it would have been dangerous.
It would have been very dangerous, and you can't see what's coming up.
Absolutely. But there are people saying the FIA should have immediately pulled red.
Yeah.
And the thing about this is, it wouldn't have made any difference.
No.
Because under red flag, they drive under virtual safety car conditions.
Yeah.
And all the radio engineers are on there. The only everyone's kind of making controversy about the Stroll thing because his radio engineer was the reason why he slowed down.
Yeah.
But and that's why the radio engineer's there, by the way.
Yeah, I suppose that's why they're there. So
yeah, and also it was double wave yellows, which the drivers could see that, and he slowed down. Every single driver after that was going so slow, no risk at all. Therefore, I do kind of think it was the right decision to pull the VSC. But
no, I think so too. But I think also, you know, like you've said, there is the argument that, you know, red flag means completely stop racing. So arguably it would have been safer. But then I'm like, your points are completely valid, and I think that is the case. But I just think on the last few laps of the race, they've got to pass George anyway.
Exactly.
So if it was a red flag, that would have just caused more issues when you just kind of virtual safety car it and then go from there.
And there's people raising the argument that kind of if as a driver you see a red flag come out, you're going to slow down because as you were saying under VSC, you do kind of want to still kind of racing just in case it ends. I still disagree with that. I feel like nowadays, with the stringency of the stewards kind of like realising speeding under virtual safety car, you're not going to do it.
And also top tier motorsport, like top level motorsport, you're not going to do that. You don't expect it from grassroots.
Absolutely.
You know, overtaking under yellows and all that stuff. Matt, I have to deal with this. But like this is the top of the top.
They understand.
You don't. Yeah, they understand that if there's a double wave yellow, there is going to be something in the way that they need to be careful of.
And all the drivers were. There was an incident. I really do think the controversy has been blown out of the water for this.
I think so. But it's always going to be the case, right? The FIA make one decision, and there's always going to be another option that they could have taken. So people are going to argue that one, and there's valid reasons for that. If they would have red flagged it, people would have said, "Oh no, you should have virtual safety card it instead."
Absolutely.
It's always going to be.
They can never do anything right.
No, they can't. No. And like obviously, like yes, like granted, the FIA make mistakes on a regular basis sometimes.
Japan 2023 with the tractor on the track with the wet conditions. That was a mistake, and they owned up to that.
Exactly.
This wasn't a mistake.
I don't think this was a mistake.
No, absolutely not.
But I think what was a mistake was the Alonso penalty, but we'll go on to that.
Yes. I mean, do you want to quickly talk about that? I mean, I think it was absolutely ludicrous.
I think, so I saw actually the statement from Mike Crack. Did you see that?
I did, yes. Basically, I think that was a little bit PR driven because they are trying to outwardly support Alonso in case he goes to Merck.
It was completely PR driven. Like they wouldn't have done it otherwise.
No.
But no, so Alonso got a penalty because of George's crash. Arguably, it was keep holding him up, wasn't it?
Yes. So he, from the 57th lap to the 58th lap, he did visibly slow down. No doubt about that. However, he was simply realising that look, it's the final lap of the race. The massive DRS zone is coming up. George is going to have a lot of energy saved, therefore I'm going to prioritise my exit so I can get the most straight line speed. That is how drivers think. It wasn't a brake check. No. And what I think was ludicrous was the fact they gave him a drive-through fix. I mean, you look at Lewis v Max at Silverstone, that was only a 10-second. I mean, you look at some of the massive crashes that have happened, which were very clearly drivers' faults, and have only got a 10-second. A 20-second penalty for this is unbelievable.
Like you said recently, actually, it sets a very bad precedent.
It sets a very, very bad precedent because basically you're saying that drivers can't experiment with the lines. You're saying that they can't actually. They have to take the one racing line that's pre-described, and it's.
And they have to break at a certain point, otherwise that's not allowed. It's like, right, okay, like the whole point of it, like you're saying, is you take different lines, different entry speeds, different exits. That's the whole idea of motorsport, right?
Exactly.
But I don't know.
And I mean, look, what's really, really annoying about this is that the appeal process in motorsport is not designed for stuff like this because you can only appeal if you have additional data. And they have no additional data.
Yeah, so
it was clearly just a wrong decision.
Yeah, so they've got no right to review unless you bring a significantly new element to it. You can't do it, which is good in certain respects. It kind
otherwise everyone would appeal.
Yeah, but obviously, not good for them because it was completely the wrong decision. I think in my own mind.
No, I think that's clear for a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
I think there was visible outrage, and there was a lot of people saying that Johnny Herbert was one of the stewards, therefore Johnny Herbert has always had kind of a bias against Alonso, but I don't think that's they are neutral.
Didn't even know he was a steward.
Yeah, he was a steward. Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah, he was a steward for Australia. Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. More you know.
Yeah, but
but he didn't have to go through the vigorous training.
Absolutely not. No, he just drove around a car for a bit and was a mediocre driver.
Don't even get started. Literally. Okay, we'll move on to Ferrari.
Oh my god, take a bow. Take a bow. Just Fred Vasseur in general, because he had made a car that Checo outwardly said that even if Max had actually stayed in the race, Ferrari would have won.
Yeah.
And just Sainz take a bow as well.
Yeah,
14 days ago, he was in surgery. 14 days later, he's winning.
I mean, that's absolutely incredible when you think about it, isn't it? I mean, he still had the bandage on him from his surgery.
And he had to have additional padding on his seatbelt as well. It was, the stuff that he went through to be able to race, and the fact that he won it.
It's next level.
It's next level.
Like you said, take an absolute bow.
Yeah.
Because, wow.
The fact that he just was able to keep the pace and have the endurance as well. It's just, it was unreal. And look, Charles completed the 1-2 for the team. It was a good drive. He held off Lando. Yeah. And look, everyone's like, oh, here we go. They should have kept Sainz and left right, this is the first time that Sainz has genuinely outpaced him in the last 10 races.
Yeah.
Calm yourselves.
Yeah.
Okay, Charles is clearly the number 1 driver in that team.
Yeah.
But this is such an equal driving pairing that you're going to have race size.
Yeah.
Just fair play.
It was a fair play, and from the team, like you're saying, in general, the 1-2 to get the 1-2 for the team.
The confidence in the team right now is going to be sky high.
Yeah.
And I think that's also why rumours have been coming out that Adrian Newey is in advanced talks with Ferrari. What I would give for that. Because
Lewis Hamilton,
Adrian Newey.
What?
That surely means that they're going to win. Ferrari dominance isn't coming.
Yeah. It's literally 5 more years of Ferrari dominance.
I'll take it.
5 more years of whatever the hell the national anthem. No, the British national anthem. If it's Lewis.
Yeah, but it won't be, will it? I think it'll be Charles.
Damn it! The Monaco one.
Yeah, Monegasque. Oh, it's not. I love the Monaco Grand Prix.
Yeah, that's
the
fine.
Monaco anthem. But yeah, I mean, Ferrari is genuinely, I believe, on the up. I mean, there are rumours that are saying that they're bringing more upgrades. They're kind of accelerating the upgrade. Could we actually? I don't want to get ahead of ourselves.
No.
Could we actually see a title battle on our hands?
Probably.
Because I genuinely think that Ferrari are going to start nailing down on this race pace. They have the quality pace.
Yeah.
They can do it. I mean, it'd be great to see. It'd be great to see.
It would be so good to see, honestly.
But on to McLaren. Great haul of points.
Yeah.
Lando with the podium. Can't ask more than that. I mean, everyone's kind of going off about the team orders. It was the right call.
Yeah.
Lando had more pace. They let Piastri undercut him. Therefore, he was kind of deservedly allowed to go past. And then it was clear. It was the right decision.
Definitely. I think so too. A good result for them, like you said. The team for the constructors anyway.
Oh my god! I think we've got the same amount of points as Aston and Merc combined now.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
we are seriously in third.
That's sensible.
Stuff of dreams for McLaren
Stuff
fans.
of dreams.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So moving to Aston Martin now. Obviously, Stroll out qualified Fernando.
Stuff I think I'd never see.
No, I know.
But I mean, it was a great weekend from Stroll. I mean, he came on P6.
Yeah.
It was a good result. Obviously, George crashed in front of him and Max DNF. But still, it was a great result. He was far off of Fernando, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
But
then obviously Fernando is hit by the unfortunate circumstances.
Yeah. So I mean, he brought it home for the team.
Yeah.
Great points. Yeah. Fair play to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've spoken about the Fernando unfair rubbish penalty.
Yeah. So moving on to Alpine now. Obviously,
I think Ocon celebrating getting into Q2 as the win is very telling.
Yeah, I mean, I think you sent me a video saying like Alpine are not bad.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
They weren't great, but they were not bad.
I think this is easily the best race of the season for them.
Yes.
They're plastering it as a kind of we're on the up. They're not. They're still a tractor.
That was an outlier, but
absolutely. But we're talking about an outlier. They were what They were P16 and P13.
Wow.
I mean, granted, Ocon did have to pit again because of a tear off in his brake, but still, it was not a good
But also,
weekend.
we've literally had this conversation just previously talking about Formula E. Obviously, they had a good weekend, but is that not because someone else had a bad
Exactly,
weekend?
yeah. It's because Max DNF'd, Hamilton DNF'd, and Russell DNF'd. Otherwise, Ocon would have been last, and Gasly would have been 16th.
Yeah.
Therefore, you've got to look at it like that.
So it does settle, doesn't it?
Yeah, but right, let's take a break and then move on to Williams.
Right, so let's get on to Williams now.
Controversy again. This race was just full of controversy everywhere.
It was.
But this was all about Sargent. So obviously they didn't bring a spare chassis.
Yeah.
Albon then wrote off his chassis in FP1, I think. And then James Miles made a very tough decision, but I genuinely do believe right decision.
I think it was the right decision.
To swap Alex and Sargent. Sargent didn't get to race.
Happy birthday, Alex.
Yeah, there's my car. Yeah,
my car.
That was probably one of the most expensive birthday presents ever. A £50 million F1 car.
Plus the
for
rest.
a weekend. Yeah. But everyone was like, oh, Alex didn't get in the points. It wasn't worth it. Let's be real. Sargent would have done better. Sargent would not have done better than Albon. Plain and simple.
And obviously Albon came P11.
He came P11. Yeah, he was very close. He was fighting in the points for a while as well.
Yes.
He was P10 running for a while.
Yeah.
So look, it was the right decision. Unfortunately, he didn't get the points. If he got the points, it would have been a masterstroke. Yeah. But I think James got a lot of bad press for that.
Yeah, he did. But like I said, like you said actually as well, I think it was the right decision. He had to do what's best for the team. Constructors wise, they need that money in the championship to You know, so they just had to do what, you know, it's always going to hurt someone, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've only got one car, right? They've got 2 drivers. They're always going to make one wrong decision, no matter what way he goes about it. So he had to go with the fastest driver,
Absolutely.
so Albon, and that's it.
Yeah, and I mean, I saw people saying like, Williams were like gracious to give Sargent a drive this year, so actually give them the chance, let Alex drive the car and see whether he can get points. Because remember, he qualified P8 or something last year, and then managed to get up to P6. He was running P6 for a while. If that happened again, people wouldn't be going, actually, you know what, James Vowles, hats off.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I mean, it was the right call.
And I think you actually said it a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about it, and you said that would definitely be in his contract somewhere.
100%. I think there will definitely be a clause saying if something happens, especially with the variability that Williams might not have enough parts.
Yes.
There will be a clause that says.
I mean, they would have known they're not going to have a spare chassis. So it's like, well, in the event that this happens, you have to give it up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Sargent could come back and sue.
He could, and I think we were talking about this after a kind of damages lecture.
Yeah.
But it was like, could you theoretically, are you contracted to drive 24 races, or are you contracted to drive the whole season? Yeah, because if you're contracted to drive 24 races, he could have then sued for damages.
This is what legal counsel over here.
See,
McLaren, sign him up. Anyways.
What? Yeah. What?
Get the suit out.
Yeah. But onto racing balls.
Yeah.
Yuki Tsunoda.
I mean,
Yuki Tsunoda. But what a drive. What a drive. P7 in the racing balls. Absolutely has the edge of a sword on Daniel Ricciardo in both qualifying and the race. No one kind of predicted this before the season.
Yeah.
And I mean, you just take a bow.
Yeah.
Just take a bow.
Absolutely, and I think as well, you said as well that there's been a few rumours now. Obviously, you know, Yuki is outperforming Daniel. Are we going
by a huge margin?
By a huge margin.
Yeah.
They did it before with Nick de Vries. Right, are they going to do the same thing with Daniel Ricciardo?
Yeah, they should keep the precedent.
And bring in Liam Lawson.
They should. And obviously there were rumours straight after that he was given 2 races.
Yes.
However, those have been kind of blown away from helmet, even though you can't believe a word Helmut Marko says. But apparently now it's down to the summer break. If he doesn't improve his performances by the summer break, they're going to stick Lawson in the car. And I think that in that scenario is bye Daniel Ricciardo.
I think it's bye. I think so.
Yeah.
He's had his moment and then he went off and dropped off. And then he's had his moment again.
And then he's dropped off. Yeah. And
obviously.
Who predicted that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, you've just got to take a bow, Yuki. Like he's just
a little pocket rocket.
He is just a little pocket rocket.
He literally send it up the inside of anyone and he's just. That's
oh my god!
it.
Did you see his send on Gasly?
I did.
Just send it from about 50 metres back.
Just like no, I'm not braking. No, non-existent.
And that's what I love about him. I just imagine him just screaming in the car all the time. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. That's literally him when he's overtaking Gasly.
Yeah,
straight now.
Yeah, but great race and great points for racing balls as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Talking about that, we'll move on to Sauber.
0 quality pace, 0 race pace, no points. I think that's basically all we've got to say about
basically
Sauber.
what we said about Envision Racing.
Yes, literally. Same colour scheme, same
colour
points.
scheme, no points, no pace. Shouldn't have even been there really, to be honest, because what was the point?
Literally, because I mean, even Joe, he had to start from the pit lane because he damaged his front wing in qualifying, and then they didn't have another spec front wing, which meant they had to brake park firmly and start from the pit lane.
I didn't know that.
Literally, like, this is why I have a problem with FOM, because they said that Andretti wouldn't have enough performance or resources to bring enough to Formula 1. You have teams that don't have spare chassis and don't have spare front wings.
That's so bad.
Coming to race weekends.
And then you've got a team like Andretti.
Yes, Andretti, who have literally probably around $1 billion worth of funding, have already made their F1 HQ.
Yeah, and
they've already done everything. They're already making the car. The car's already been in the wind tunnel.
Yeah, and they won the Formula E Drivers' Championship 2023.
And they're winning loads of races in IndyCar.
Yes.
And you've got the name Andretti.
And
and it's 2 more seats on the grid. I disagree wholeheartedly with that decision from FOM. I know it was in December. I'm still salty about it because it's a chance for 2 other drivers to get on the grid. But yeah, I mean, when you have teams like Kick F1, we call them Sauber. They're Sauber. When you have Sauber not bringing spare spec front wings to the races and Williams not bringing spare chassis. Come on.
Chassis is understandable because that's very expensive and
very complex.
Complex.
Front wing, get a grip.
Sorry, front wing. Don't like Formula E teams have like 3 spare?
Yeah. exactly.
per car.
And I mean, spec them before qualifying, so they're all the same, so that if something happens, you can change it. Because what they expect.
They're literally living life on the edge by like thinking, oh my god, if that happens, and front wings are quite easy to damage, right?
Absolutely.
It's like, oh my gosh, if you know you've not got another one, Christ. It's like,
you're screwed.
Knowing you've not got another chassis, if you bin it in the wall, that's gone, that's your weekend done.
Yeah, but I mean, that's even more difficult. Like, if you just tap a wall, your front wing's gone. Like, crazy.
So we'll move on to Haas now.
Let's go Haas. Are you Komatsu? Take a ban.
Yeah.
Because we came into this season going, they were going to be dead last. I think I put my leasehold on it at the start of the year. I didn't shake on that, and I won't. Because double points finish, and it was unbelievable. Yeah, it was unbelievable. Their race pace is finally here. They've sorted out the tyre problems, and now they can finally race. I mean, Hulkenberg came from P16 to come P10.
Yeah.
What a race!
Incredible, and like you just said, with the tyres, they were struggling so much with that, right? And now bringing in a technical person to be a team principal, which I hate to say because I'm not technical and I'm going to be a team principal, but you know, it's really helped them.
So helpful, and he knows exactly where to kind of put the focus on the team.
Yeah.
And it's clearly proving, because he has just taken this team from a team that would always kind of somewhat qualify well and then just fall back. Yeah. And they are now able to qualify badly and go up.
I know. It's incredible. Like, if you would have seen this last season...
we wouldn't have, it was alien to us.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, yeah, I mean, to end it off, what a race. Yeah. Well worth waking up at 4 AM for. Well, one of us anyway.
Yeah.
But obviously, next weekend is Japan. I'm putting all my eggs in one basket and saying that Lando is going to be in the top 2. I think our car is going to just be so strong in Suzuka, which is why I can't wait for it.
Yeah, and obviously we've got this in Japan, then we've got Tokyo Formula.
Yeah, everything's over in Asia.
Everything's over in Asia at the moment, but yeah, we've got some really exciting stuff coming up.
And also a lot of early mornings.
And a lot of early mornings, you know, yay! Yeah. And also, I will actually say as well in a minute, it is coming up fast and furious, is the BTCC Touring Car
package. Absolutely is.
I think we did say at the end of the year we're going to do a whole overview of the whole season, so I'm going to get really stuck into that and what's happening with that. Yeah, so you're getting stuck into the BTCC one for the season review. I'm getting stuck into IndyCar. And it's going to be good. Well, that's it. We're going to do some season reviews for that. Obviously, we are bringing you Formula 1 and Formula E consistently across the weekends, but then obviously BTCC, IndyCar, we're going to do season reviews. So stay tuned for that, and we hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.